Bros in sweat.
I think we are live now. Hi guys. Yeah, we are live. We are live. Hi guys. Let's just yeah, we are live. We are live. Okay, Ima, do you want to do the introduction thing? I can't. I can't hear you. Okay, Ima, do you
Hi,
want to do the
can
introduction thing?
can you hear me now?
Yeah, clearly.
Hi guys, welcome to another episode of P2P. Yeah, my name is Emmanuel Ibaneita. I work for Binance and I handle digital marketing for Binance. And today I'm here with the head of P2P in Africa, Bashir Aminu, and he's going to take us on a very interesting ride presentation about P2P
Mhm.
trading and also what you really need to know about P2P. Right. I believe that this is going to be a very informative session and a lot of take homes and a lot of things to learn. You can ask your questions. We're going to share Google Forms later for the questions. And also, there will be a great giveaway from us, right, from Binance. I think that's it. Bash, over to you.
All right. You can hear me clearly, right? And my video is clear, right?
Yeah, I can hear you, man. Go
Okay,
ahead.
so yeah, thank you so much. What we're going to be focusing on how to trade safely on Binance P2P, right? We've been having a lot of questions about like how do I stay safe while trading on Binance P2P. A lot of different questions like that, right? And for this particular webinar, we're gonna try to, as much as we can, take you through the basic rules of Binance P2P. Um, what are the basic rules of Binance P2P? What are some of the things that you should know before you even start trading on Binance P2P in the first place? The basic things, right? And then we're also going to tell you how do you choose the best traders on Binance P2P. What are some of the things you should look for in a, let's say you want to buy or sell on Binance P2P? What are some of the things you should look for in a trader to make sure that okay, this person is the best person that I want to trade with on Binance P2P, right? And then also we're also going to like answer all your questions. I'm going to share a Google form now, um, so that you guys can fill. Ask any of the questions, and we're actually going to pick 10 winners from this Google form. The 10 questions that we answer, the 10 questions that we answer that we answer from this Google form. We're gonna give each one $10. So you're gonna go home with $10 today just for asking a question on this particular webinar. So um, hope you guys are ready your question. So I'm gonna post the question on the on the chat right now. Please fill the form and ask your questions. We're gonna pick 10 questions to answer here. So yeah, please look at the form I just shared and ask your questions there, and we're gonna answer it later on. So to get started, let's talk about what are like the basic rules um, and the basic rules of Binance P2P, right? Yeah, but like I always tell people, Binance P2P is a very very safe and reliant platform that a lot of our users use to trade, and I've been using for a very very long time, right? And you know, as as based on like the rules that we've set, and you follow the rules step by step, without breaking any of our rules, you're like completely safe using Binance P2P, right? You
Step
only
by
you
step,
you only
without
you
breaking.
only expose yourself to like issues when you refuse to follow this rule. So it's very very important that you listen very clearly so that you can understand some of the rules that guide the Binance P2P platform. So yeah, I'm gonna break our rules right into two, and these rules are very important to help you stay safe as well. I'm gonna break our rules into two aspects, right? A buyer's instructions and the seller's instruction. What this means is when you're buying on Binance P2P, what are the things? What are the rules here? What are the things, the basic things you must look out for when you're buying cryptocurrency on Binance P2P, the rules there. And then we have the seller's instructions. When you're selling your cryptocurrency on Binance P2P, what are the basic rules, right? So breaking this down, you can, depending on which category of user you are, anytime you're buying, you can understand that, okay, these are the clear rules that I need to follow to make sure that I trade safely on Binance P2P. So we are all about safety right now in this webinar. So let's start with the buyer's rules. What are the rules that we require for the buyer? Number one, right? You first need to choose a payment method that is supported by the seller, right? Um, so what this means is if a seller is saying, I'm accepting bank transfer for a trade, right? You need to choose the payment method of that particular of that particular seller. For example, let's say I want bank transfer for my payment as a buyer, and then you choose cheaper cash, right? It does not correspond with my payment method because I'm saying I want bank transfer here, and the payment method you have is cheaper cash, right? It's not going to work, right? You need to choose bank transfer as well in order to be able to trade with me, right? So that's like the basic rule, right? And then yeah, you need to look out for that as well. So you don't go and start a trade when you with somebody that wants to accept cheaper cash, and you do not have a cheaper cash account, right? What you have is bank transfer. It will not work. So that's the number one rule for buyers. Number two rule, and this is also very, very important as well on the platform to make sure that you stay safe, is please use a real name verified payment method. Let me explain what I mean by this, right? Let's say my name is Chukuka Yetunde or something like that, right? And then that is the name I registered my Binance account with, right? I registered my Binance account as Chukuka Yetunde, and then my bank account name is something else. Let's say like Ibrahim or Ibrahim or something like that, right? And then that is the bank account that I'm going to pay from. It does not correspond with my Binance P2P account, right? It is not allowed, right? You must make a payment when you're starting a trade with a user and you want to buy, right? You must make a payment from the account details that corresponds with the same name that is on your Binance account. And also, when you're adding a payment method, this will also be asked as well. This will be we fetch your what's it called now? We fetch your payment method. We collect your Binance name and pre-fill it. When you want to add bank transfer, for example, the only two things you need to add is the account number and the bank name. We already get your account name from your Binance account already, right? So make sure that when you're making a payment and you've added the payment method, you send money from that particular account name that is in your name on Binance. That's also very, very important. Now, at the time when this is allowed, is this, right? Here's an exception. You can send a message to the seller and say, hey, seller, I'm going to be sending money from an account that is not in my name on Binance, right? The seller can now agree. If the seller says, okay, no problem, you can actually just send money to me from an account. And also very important, do not call the seller on phone and ask for this particular thing or send the seller a message, right? Send the seller a message on WhatsApp to confirm. In the chat on Binance chat, right? Send a message to the seller on the Binance chat asking to pay from a third party account. Why is this important to send a message to the seller? Because Binance customer support can read your messages that you have, the conversations you have with each other on the trade, right? The conversations you have with each other on the trade, Binance customer support can read. In case of when the seller now appeals and says, hey, I did not agree that this guy should send money from a third party. Binance customer support can clearly read the chat where you asked that you want to send from a third party and the seller clearly agreed, right? and because of that information that Binance customer support has, they can help you in that particular situation. But if you did it by phone call, there's no way of knowing whether the seller actually agreed that you sent from a third party. Do you understand? So, like, it's very, very important that you make sure that all your communication happens in the chat, because that's what's going to help the customer support to help you in case of any issue. So it's very, very important. So yeah, that's number two. Number three, and this is very, very important to make sure that you do not get suspended from using Binance P2P, because we want a very high quality platform for all our users. We want our users to have a platform where they have very good user experience and all that stuff, right? We don't want users to want, to be having delays in their transaction. We want a smooth platform for our users. So do the third instruction here, the third instruction here, say, do not click I have paid or transferred next button when you have not made payment. This is very important. Let me give an example. You're trying to buy crypto with your bank app, and then you have not actually gone to your bank app to send the payment, and then you come and click I have transferred. And then maybe later, you now say, okay, later you are going to now go and make the transfer. It's not allowed, right? Because if you do that, and you have not um, if you do that and you have not actually just made the payment, and then you click I have made payment without actually making payment, it can lead to you getting suspended from the platform, because we do not tolerate that kind of behavior on the platform, right? Your account will be disabled and you will not be able to trade. So it's very, very important. Do not click you have transferred without actually transferring. I think in order to make this a lot more interactive, and for you guys to understand what I'm saying, I'm actually going to share our user transaction policy screen with you guys, so you can see as I go through each of these instructions clearly, so you can understand it. So let me see if I can share my screen right now. Okay, Emmanuel, let me know when you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
Yeah, I can see your screen now. Fantastic.
Okay, great. I'm also going to share the user transaction policy after I've finished my presentation. But let's go to we've talked about number one, payment method. Number two, using real name. As you can see here, you can see sorry, did you say something, Emmanuel?
No, no, go ahead, man.
Okay. We talked about choosing the payment method. Number two, using a real name. Number three, um, let me see. Number three, making sure that you make payment before you click you have transferred. Now let's talk about number four. Um, P2P payments needs to be instant, right? It needs to be instant. We don't want you to start a transaction and it takes hours to complete. P2P payments are instant. It should be within minutes, not hours, right? So always make sure that you choose instant payment, right? It has to always be instant payment. Don't tell the seller that you're gonna pay within an hour or something like that, right? We've actually we previously, before we implemented a new timer system, we used to allow uh, merchants and users to be able to set the timer as long as they wanted, right? They could set for hours, 3 hours and that. But now we've reduced it to 45 minutes, because we saw that people were abusing that privilege of they will now set their payment timer for like 5 hours, 3 hours or so. So right now the maximum you can set, because the maximum you can set for your payment window on Binance P2P is now 45 minutes. So we have 45 minutes, 30 minutes, and 15 minutes, right? I trade on Binance P2P, and to me, if I'm going to buy cryptocurrency from anybody, 15 minutes is enough time for me to go to my bank app and click send, right? So, but like there are some cases where, there might be bank delays and all that stuff. So it could extend to 45 minutes. But I think 45 minutes is enough time for anybody to be able to make payments. So let's go to number five. And this is very, very important. This is very, very, very key. So you guys should listen to this very, very clearly. So let me just highlight number five here. When you are making a payment, please make sure you do not include any sensitive words or expression related to digital currency, such as Bitcoin, digital currency, and Bitcoin, or something like that, right? Or maybe let me just explain this. Let me break this down. when you're making a payment on Binance P2P, what, right? When you're sending money through bank transfer, they ask for a remark. If you are in Nigeria or any other country, they ask for a remark, right? That says, hey, what is the note you want to? What's the reason for this transfer? You can write anything there. Sometimes maybe you want to buy food from somebody, you can say payment for food, or you want to buy clothes, you can type payment for clothes purchase, right? For for payments through Binance P2P, you can include things, but please do not include any sensitive words. There are some words that are flagged, right? Like, for example, digital currency, P2P payment, Binance payment, BTC, Bitcoin, anything that has to do with crypto, anything like that. Please do not include it. It's very, very important, right? Make sure that you do not include any of these sensitive words, right? Bitcoin, digital currency, crypto, Ethereum, what else? Binance, all those crypto related remarks, please make sure that you do not include it. And it's very, very important when you're making a payment. So let's go to number 6 now. Number 6 is if you have completed a transfer and clicked transferred, and then the seller fails to release your crypto. That's after you have actually sent the money within the time, you can file an appeal, right? Now, let me break this down again, right? Let's say I've sent payment and I've clicked I have transferred. I've actually gone to my bank app. I've done number 3 here, right? As you can see, number 3 here. I've done number 3. I've clicked transfer as paid. And then the seller refuses to release my crypto, even though I have paid. You can now file an appeal. Now, we recommend that you contact the buyer and the seller first. Call them on phone, send them a message. Hey, I have paid for the crypto on Binance. Why haven't you released my crypto? Try to communicate with them before you file an appeal. Don't just wait for like maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes, and then they have not released your crypto and you're filing appeals. It clogs our system, right? So we encourage you to communicate with the seller first. Call them, ask them questions. Hey, I have sent money. Let them even be informed already, first of all, that you have sent money, right? If they still refuse to release your crypto for whatever reason, you can then file an appeal, right? And if you follow rule number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 above, right? And that's why rules are very important. If you follow rule number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 above, right, and you file an appeal, you can be rest assured that the appeal is going to be in your favor because you have clearly followed number 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 above, right? So, filing an appeal, you don't even have anything to worry about because Binance customer support is trained to handle appeals, so they can look into every single thing. And once you have, it's like a check mark. Number 1, okay, check. Number 2, check. Number 3, check. Number 4, check. Number 5, check. If you have checked 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, your payment is going to be processed and you have nothing to worry about. So that's why it's very important to follow the rules here. Now, if number 7, if you now do not follow the buyer's instructions here, you violated any of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It is very likely. I mean, it's not even very likely. It's most likely that the appeal is going to be against your favor, right? Binance customer support could, because of you violated our rules, disable your account and all that stuff. So it's very important that you follow the rules very, very clearly so that to avoid any issues with using Binance as a buyer. Now, we've talked about a buyer's instructions. What are the basic rules for buyer? Now let's talk about the rules for sellers. We've talked about number 1 before when we were talking about the buyer's instruction. We said, hey, you must use real name verified payment method. It's the same thing here. Whether you're a buyer or seller, if you're a seller, the payment method you add on Binance P2P must be in the same name with what you have on Binance. You cannot even add another name because we pre-fill the name already. So you must add a payment method that is in your Binance name, right? Number 2 is after confirming receipt of payment from a buyer, you must release the crypto within 15 minutes, right? Now, let's say it's a buyer has sent you money and you have received it in your Binance in your bank account. There is no reason why you should not release the cryptocurrency, right? So we give you 15 minutes to do that. And if you do not do that within the 15 minutes, the buyer now has a right to appeal. And if the buyer has, of course, followed all the instructions in buyer's instructions, then we are going to rule the appeal in their favor. Number three, um, unless you should not ask customer support to cancel an order without the buyer's consent, right? Let's say, for example, I want to buy your crypto, right? But maybe something happened and I'm not able to access my Binance app anymore to actually just make, or I'm not able to I'm not just able to click I have paid, or or I've clicked I've paid, but something now happened to my bank app. I'm not now able to cancel the order, right? You as a seller can now, I can now uh, post it and in the chat and say, hey, I'm unable to cancel this order, or customer support, please help me cancel it. It's only the buyer that can give consent to customer support to cancel an order. That's what I'm trying to say, right? So you as a seller do not have any right to ask customer support to cancel an order. Only the buyer can ask customer support to cancel an order. Um, Another thing that we've seen, and number four is very, very important because we have seen a lot of cases of this on Binance P2P. Unless otherwise stipulated by the platform, you shall not object to the price of an order that is already created without the buyer's consent. We've seen a lot of cases where, let's say, a seller posted, let's say, for example, Bitcoin. They want to sell their Bitcoin for 24 million naira, right? And then that's when the trade started. And then in the process of the trade, the price of Bitcoin rose to 25 million naira. Now all of a sudden they don't want to sell anymore because the price of Bitcoin has risen, right? It's not allowed, right? Once you post a trade, once you start a sell trade, and then the buyer has picked it, right? You do not have any right to say, hey, please cancel the order. I don't want to trade anymore. You understand? It's at the buyer's discretion. You can actually ask the buyer, right? Please help me cancel the transaction. Maybe for some unforeseen circumstances, you don't want to go ahead with the trade anymore. You can ask the buyer to say, oh, okay, please cancel the transaction, and give them good reason. If they agree, no matter the reason you are even giving them, if they agree that, hey, yes, okay, I'll cancel the order, then it's fine, right? If they agree. But if they disagree, right, and they say, please, no, I want to proceed with this order, you do not have any right in that because you have already started the trade. So the buyer has every right to conclude the payment, right? So that's what number four signifies. Um, yeah. Now number five. Um, so if you have uncompleted orders or disputes with a particular buyer, please make sure that you have reached out. Make sure that you can be reached via your mobile phone. Now, make sure that the mobile number, right, and email address that you use to register on Binance P2P is accessible to you. Do not add a phone number that you do not longer have access to, because nobody will be able to contact you, right? So the buyer needs to be able to call you in case of any issue, right? So make sure that the phone numbers that you have on your Binance app is accessible to you at all times. And then number six is just saying, hey, in case of any of this violation of these five rules, and we can take measures to make sure to because of you violated some of these rules, and your account can be disabled in just because of that. So yeah, those are the basic rules of Binance P2P, right? Those are the basic things you need to look out for, while trading on Binance P2P. So yeah, that's it. So now I think, Emmanuel, we should probably take some questions from the Google form. Let me see if people have filled the Google form real quickly.
Yeah, we should now. I think there are a lot of questions coming in.
Okay.
Other people mentioned that
Oh,
they.
oh my God, we have 80 questions.
Yes, we do. I think I'll just share the link once more for people that are probably just joining. You can just
Yeah.
ask your related Binance P2P questions, and Bash is here to just answer you almost immediately. I think
Okay.
one of the most likely questions that I think popping up is a lot of people saying
Mm.
the time that the sellers put there are actually very high. Some are high to like 2 hours, right? And even 45 minutes, and they can become not reachable at some point, right? So
Mhm.
maybe there's a way, if there's a way they're going to P2P can work around this to give them a chance to probably cancel the order easily, right?
Oh, yeah. So,
Yeah.
like I said, we do not give sellers ability to cancel a trade because let me give a reason why, so that it's actually a very logical reason. If you start a trade, right? If you start a trade, and then a buyer now sends you money already, and then you cancel the trade, the buyer might be at a loss in that particular transaction because they have already made payment, and Binance does not really have any way to figure out whether the person has actually made that payment or not, until they click I have transferred. So, we cannot give sellers an ability to cancel a transaction because a lot of buyers will be at a loss. So that's the reason, why we do not allow sellers to cancel transactions. Yes. Do we have let's take like two more questions before I go to the next part. Emmanuel, do you have any questions?
No, I can't really access the form now, so maybe just go
Okay.
through. Yeah.
Okay, let me give you access to the form. Okay. Um, okay, yeah, you should have access to it now. But can't access any of the link. Binance P2P rules. Okay. So I think maybe we should just leave the remaining questions till the end of the webinar. Let me just continue with the next part of the with the next part of the webinar now.
All right,
Yeah.
man.
So I think before that, I just want to like um let me see. Let me just explain like just a very basic idea of like how Binance P2P escrow service works. I know a lot of people have questions about how the escrow service works. So let me just take you people very very briefly, like maybe like a 5 minutes presentation of how Binance P2P escrow service works. Let me share my screen real quick. So yeah, this is like a I don't know. Emmanuel, can you see my screen now?
Um, yes, yes, go ahead,
Okay,
man.
great, great. So I want to I know like a lot of people hear about our escrow. Like, how do we actually keep buyers and sellers safe in a transaction? It's called escrow, and you can see a very simple illustration here of how it works, right? You see the buyer on the left side, and you see the seller on the right side, and then you see this escrow at the top, right? So it's like a circle. Number one, the seller funds escrow. What does this mean? It simply means that the seller has, let's say the seller wants to sell USDT in their account, right? The seller needs to have USDT in their P2P account for them to be able to sell. I mean, you cannot sell what you do not have, right? So, for the buyer to be able to, do this process, they need to have funds. They need to actually have funds in their P2P account. So yeah, number one is the seller. The seller will have the funds in their P2P account first of all, right? Number two number two is escrow will hold, the seller's coins, right? Because the seller has added it to their P2P account, right? Now the escrow will hold that particular coin. Then um number two is the buyer now makes payment to the seller offline. Now what we mean by offline is they are making the payment through their bank app on their phone. They're not making the payment now, like the Naira or ZAR or GHS payment through Binance, right? They're making it through their offline account, like their bank app or any other payment method like Cheaper Cash or Bundle or any of those as well. And then the seller will now, as you can see here, the seller will now confirm that, hey, I have received this number two from the buyer. And then the escrow will now fund the buyer's Binance account, right? So how do as long as you follow the rules that has been stipulated that I just gone through, the seller here follow the seller rules, the buyer here follow the buyer rules. Escrow will just release the funds to the buyer. But if there's any issue here, right? Maybe the seller says, okay, they did not receive payment from the buyer. This particular number three process does not go through. which means that the funds are securely locked in escrow until this particular process of making payment has been confirmed by the seller. So that's like how the basics of like how Binance P2P, keeps your trading safe. Now I'm gonna go for like the third part of the webinar, which is to show you how what are some of the key things you should actually look out for when you want to make a trade on Binance P2P, right? How do you spot a scammer, right? There are some very very simple things you should look out for as a user on Binance P2P. How do you spot a scammer? How do you pick somebody, a seller or a buyer that will most likely you will have a good trade with, right? How do you pick those as well? Um, I'm gonna share my screen again. I don't know why I stopped sharing it. I'm gonna share my screen again. So let me just take you through a very practical way of doing that.
All right,
Uh,
and also to chip in, Bash.
mhm,
I think a lot of people are actually here to learn how to
mhm,
spot a scammer, right? Just like you mentioned, and
mhm.
what Binance is actually doing if this is scammer is actually caught. So maybe when you're answering that, you
Okay,
could give a
okay,
touch point on that as
okay,
well.
sure, sure. So there are some very key things you should look out for before you buy on Binance P2P, right? Like for example, I don't know if you can see my screen, right, Emmanuel?
Yeah, okay.
Okay, okay. Now you can see this is a buy screen on Binance P2P. These are the people that want to sell their crypto, right? There are some key things you should look out for. And I'm going to use how I trade as a benchmark because I've been trading P2P for a while now. So I know there are some things I just look at and I know, nah, this is not somebody I want to trade with. Stuff like that. So I'm just going to share my process with you. When I want to buy crypto on Binance P2P, some of the first thing I look for is, okay, what is the price I want to pay, right? Of course, you can only pay what people are willing to sell for. You cannot pay lower than what people are willing to sell for, right? So, like for example, if I look at the pricing, 488, I want to buy USDT, right? Let's say I want to buy $1,000 worth of USDT. And I'm seeing that the best rate here is 488 per per USDT. Maybe the if the pricing is not okay for me, what I would do is I'll post a sell ad for the price that I want to sell. Let's say this is like a buy this is the best I can get on Binance P2P right now. But what I want to actually buy for is, let's say, 487. I'll post a sell ad for 487 and wait for somebody to pick that up because that's the price that I want to buy, right? So that's like the first thing. I look at the price, and if it's okay for me, if this 488 is okay for me, I'll just click buy and buy directly. But if it's not okay for me, I'll just post is a buy ad by myself. So my buy ad will appear here, right? And then people can buy from me. Now, exactly. So I'm gonna this is actually a very good one. I'm happy that I can be able to show you guys this right now because this is one of the key things that you should look out for when you are to spot a scam on Binance P2P, right? You can see a lot of different ads here using mobile top up. Now, mobile top up usually has a higher pricing than other payment methods, right? You can see mobile top up here, that's 516 per dollar, 535, and then bank payments will have within 488, 480 to 490 or 470 or so, right? But mobile top up usually has a higher a higher price. I don't know why that is, to be honest, but that's just the way it is on Binance P2P. And these are actually legit ads. You can see their completion rate, 91%, 98%. Now, you now see somebody like this, Sharif Al Hassan, that has a price of 1,140 naira per USDT. Now, this, if you are a pessimist, you say this is 100% a scam because there's no way somebody will be willing to buy crypto at this ridiculous price. That's like more than double what the entire market is buying, right? So it's ridiculous. This is obvious. This is definitely a scam. But if you're an optimist, you could say, okay, let me just give this guy the benefit of the doubt and sell today. I mean, the pricing looks good. I mean, let me just try my luck and see if it actually works. And a lot of people, funny enough, right? As ridiculous as this pricing seems, a lot of people will still try to sell their crypto to this guy, and we see it a lot, right? I don't know if it's greed or like, like you see a pricing that is just too good to be true. And there's the saying that if something is too good to be true, then it's most likely is, right? This pricing is too good to be true. And I'm a pessimist, right? I'm an optimist, but when it comes to when it comes to things like this, I'm a pessimist, right? I'm definitely not selling my crypto to this guy because I mean, why is it buying so high? It's ridiculous. It's too good to be true. So it definitely is, right? And I'm just going to say, okay, this is a scammer. I'm not trading with this person. And please, when you find ads like this, because our users are our best weapons against scammers, right? You know, our users, the well-meaning users. We have a lot of good people on Binance P2P that are just here to do business and trade legit, and they're not there to scam you or anything. But we have very few scammers that come to just, make the platform, bad for people, right? When you see ads like this, please report this immediately to customer support so we can ban them from the platform. I
Yeah.
don't want you always make sure that you're a pessimist when it comes to things like this because, I mean, if I was seeing 580 or within the five something range, I was okay. Maybe this person just has a higher, you know, um, the person is still legit, but this is just ridiculous. So I just want to believe that this person is a scammer. So please report this to us immediately, and we'll make sure that we remove the person from the platform because we don't need people like this on the platform. So yeah, that's like it was just by chance that I found this, but
Yeah.
it's a
Doing
good
bad.
way to teach people. And then you can see another thing, right? Apart
Yeah.
from the pricing, you can see another thing. This person has done zero orders and has 0% completion rate. That means they have not done any trade. This is their first trade. And what scammers usually do is they open new accounts. They open a lot of accounts, hoping to catch users unaware. They open like maybe they can open. I don't know how many accounts they open, but you can see the pattern with them. They open a lot of different accounts, and it's always new accounts that have not done any trade before, right? So these are some of the things you should spot when anytime at all you see an ad like this with this ridiculous pricing. Please don't feel greedy and say, okay, maybe let me just try my luck and see if I can get lucky. Report this person as a scammer immediately to Binance customer support so we can remove them from the platform. Yes.
Yeah, Bash, and another thing, I think
Mm-hmm.
people with such ridiculous prices, right?
Mm-hmm.
They when you probably try doing a trade with them, and
Mm-hmm.
their numbers are always foreign numbers. I think
Yeah.
US
Yeah.
numbers or
Yeah.
UK numbers, which
Yeah.
is which a lot. That's another pinpoint that people need to know. When
Mm-hmm.
you can't reach a seller, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just know that nah, it's a scammer.
Yeah, yeah. Because if there is an issue with this trade, you cannot even call them in the first place, right?
Right.
You can't reach them in any way, and the scammers do not want you to reach them now. I mean, so they will definitely open with a fake phone number, so you cannot even reach them, right? So yeah, this is a very good use case of it. So again, when you see this, report to Binance customer support immediately so we can ban them from the platform. So yeah, as we were saying, I'm actually going to save this so that I can look into it later and we can remove this person from Binance P2P. Now, as I was saying, about how to post when you see the pricing. I'm still going through my experience now. Now, the second thing I look out for is how much do I actually want to buy, right? Do I want to buy $1,000? Do I want to buy $100? Right? Let's say for in this case, I want to buy $100 worth of USDT. What I do is I'll just enter on $100 here and click on search. Now, no, okay, this is 100 NGN. So you can only enter the payments in NGN, not USDT. So $100 is like roughly, let's say, 490,000 naira. So I just enter 490, no, 49,000 naira, and then I'll see all the ads that I can actually buy from with this amount, right? So I've seen all the ads that I can buy from with this amount. Then the next thing I do is payment method. What payment method do I want to pay with? Is it NGM, fiat balance, bank transfer, cheaper cash, or any of those other payment methods? I want to use bank transfer, right? So I just click on bank transfer here. and then it will show all the bank transfer payments here. So now I've checked the pricing, and it's good for me. I've entered the amount, and I see all the people that can sell to me at that amount, and then I've chosen the payment method I want to pay with, which is bank transfer. The next thing I look out for is the completion rate of all the users, right? I can see Crypto Queen has a completion rate of 99%. Good, pretty good. 89% completion rate is good, right? But I can get, and the person has, the next thing after completion rate is I look at the amount of orders that consist of this completion rate, right? They have 89% completion rate and 251 orders. It's good, right? But it's probably not good enough for me. Then I look for somebody else as well. Let's see, this person has 1,600 but has 97% completion rate. This is very good. This is good enough for me, right? This is good enough for me, and I can trade with them. But you can always, like, get better as well. Now, another thing you need to look out for is merchants. Merchants they have been vetted by us very, very seriously, and we've gone to they have gone through verification with us, so they have a much more better liquidity. They have much better liquidity on the platform, and they are more experienced with crypto trading. So anytime you see somebody that has a verified check with their name like this, the person is a merchant, and you can see that they have a very high amount of orders, like over 2,000 orders, and then 99% completion rate. So yeah, definitely I want to trade with this guy, right? So these are the key things that I look out for when I want to pick the best trade for myself, right? So I look at, first of all, the pricing, and then the amount that I want to sell or buy, and then the payment method. And then I look at the completion rate. Sorry, Emmanuel, did you say something?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so I look at the completion rate, 99%, and the amount of orders. Then if everything is satisfactory, I just click buy. So that's like how to get like the best trades, right? What the key things you should look out for, because these are the things I look out for, right? The completion rate, the amount of orders, the pricing, and the amount. So those are the things you should look out for when you want to make a trade on Binance P2P. And we've also talked about the key things to look out for in the scammer as well. If you see a scammer that has a ridiculous rate, if you see a user or an ad with a ridiculous rate that is way high above what everybody else is selling, you should be very pessimistic, right? And just assume that this person is a scammer. Report the person immediately to Binance customer support, and we'll remove the person from the platform. So yeah, that's the conclusion to the third part of it. Emmanuel, I think we can go through the quiz and the
Yeah.
frequently asked questions now. So why allow sellers to put a price? Okay, so I also saw a question. I should answer this question. So the person is asking, so you allow sellers to put a price they want. I'm assuming that this question is, why do you allow sellers to put the price that they want, or buyers to put the price that they want? Like we saw the buyer that had ridiculous rates. Why do we allow people to even have that ridiculous rate in the first place? It's an open market, right? If I want to sell, if I want to buy crypto for a ridiculous amount of money, right? It's up to me, right? I can decide to put that, right? But there are some amounts that are just too good to be true, right? Because like, why am I buying crypto at such a high price when, as you can see on the buy side, I can buy for much cheaper, but I want to buy very, very high? It's just too ridiculous. So that's why we assume that this person is a scammer, So that's it. So
Yeah.
I think we can do the quiz now. Um,
Yeah.
and
Thank
the quiz is going to be based on the questions. It's going to be based on the questions that we have, the things that we have covered in this particular section. But I'm wondering, how do we get answers to this? Should we just pick somebody from the chat?
Yes, I think that's the only way to do that. Is
Okay.
there a form quiz?
No, 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 no. I didn't get it. I didn't get it from
You
quiz.
just pick the first answers, basically.
Okay, okay. So I'm gonna ask the question now, and it's based on the rules, the basic rules of Binance P2P that we went through. So I hope you guys are ready in the chat, please. when immediately we ask the question, answer it, and we're going to pick probably the first correct answer to the question, and then the person is going to win $10. So here is how you should answer the question. First, put the answer to the question, and then at the end of it, just put your Binance UID close to it. So let's say, for example, I ask a question, you type in your answer, and then put with your Binance UID, answer and Binance UID. We'll pick 10, and then we're going to give them $10 each. So are you guys ready?
Hold on. I
Mm-hmm.
think you reiterate that they must basically have a Binance account,
Yeah.
right, for them to
Mm-hmm.
qualify to win this $10,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And we're giving this $10 to 20 lucky attendees. Yep.
Mm-hmm. Great. So please make sure you have a Binance account. And if you don't have a Binance account, I'm going to put in the chat now a way you can create a Binance account. Please go to this link to create a Binance account very, very quickly if you have not created one already. So yeah, please. So let me maybe I don't know how many minutes it takes people to create Binance account, but let's just wait for like 1 minute before I start asking the question. So yeah, okay, I'm just gonna start now because we can't wait for 1 minute. Okay. So question number one, right? What is what is what is what is the number one thing you should look out for? What is the number one thing that should catch your attention when you're trying to spot a scammer? So just number one thing that should catch your attention when you're trying to spot a scammer. So like a scammer, what's the number one thing that you see on Binance P2P that shows that the person is a scammer? Please, I've seen a correct answer, but please put your Binance UID when you're answering. Put your Binance UID when you're answering. Okay, we have a winner. We have a winner here. So the person that actually answered first did not put their Binance UID, unfortunately. David answered first, but they did not put their Binance UID. So the next person here is Ernest Akibo. So congratulations, Ernest Akibo. You are the winner of $10
Yes.
that is going to be sent to your um, Binance account. So that's number one. Let me give people more chance um, to create their Binance account before I ask the next question. I'm looking at next. I'm trying to get the okay. Yeah, next Akibo. Congratulations. So the next question. Let me just type this in. The next question. What should be the next question? Okay. Um, when I was going through the buyer's instructions, I talked about five rules that you should follow, right? The five basic rules that you should follow as a buyer before you make before so that to avoid any issues in front. If you break any of these rules, what could happen to your Binance P2P account? Answer the question. What could happen to your Binance P2P account if you break any of our rules? What could happen to your Binance P2P account if you break any of our rules? Please make sure you add your Binance UID. Binance UID. Oh, we have an answer. We have an answer. We have like two correct answers. Um. Well, let me see. 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 Okay, so the first correct answer actually add their Binance UID, so they are correct. So we have Ohamadike Valentine answered correctly. Blocked. Not exactly the word, but it's correct because you are going to be blocked from using Binance P2P. So congratulations, Ohamadike Valentine. You're going to get 10 BUSD sent to your Binance account. I'm trying to look for Ohamadike Valentine. Okay, Sin. Yeah. So Ohamadike Valentine, congratulations. Next question. Next question. Next question. If you if you have not made payment to your bank app, right? If let's say you want to buy crypto on Binance P2P, and you have not actually made payment, should you click transfer next? Should you click I have paid? Just answer yes or no. The answer is yes or no. Should you click I have paid without making payment? Please make sure that you enter your Binance UID. The answer is yes or no. Make sure that okay. We have a million correct answers right now. Don't don't slow. Binance have the right to disable. No. Okay. Now, World 365 Trend News. Congratulations, you are the first person to
Yeah.
answer the question correctly. Let me see. Okay. Congratulations, you're going to get 10 USDT, 10 BUSD sent to your Binance account. Wow, we have like how many more questions to go? We have 10 more questions to go. Okay, let me speed this up now. The next question, um so the next question is, at what point should you send payment from a third party when you're buying on Binance P2P? At what point? For what reason should you send payment from a third party when you're using Binance P2P? Uh, at what point should you send payment from a third party when you're using Binance P2P? I've not gotten an answer. When should you send payment from a third party? Okay, I think I see an answer. Uh, when you come, yes. Joyce or Saretin said when you confirm. Now, this is not exactly it, but I want to assume that what she's trying to say is when you confirm from the seller that you should send payment from a third party is when you should actually send payment from a third party. So, congratulations, Joyce. You're gonna get 10 USDT as well. Okay, so um, another question is what um what is the thing you should what is with contact details on Binance P2P when you're a seller, right? Should you add what is the what kind of I'm trying to find a way to frame the question now. But I think what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna ask the question like I'm just gonna ask from the numbers on the on the user transaction policy and see the person that answers the first. So let me send the user transaction policy again. Make sure you can see it in the chat now. Please, I want you to just quote for the buyer's instructions, right? For the buyer's instructions, right? What is the number 5 rule on the buyer's instruction? Number 5 rule on buyer's instruction.
A lot to
Just
just go and copy and paste
yeah,
now.
yeah. If they're looking, make sure you add your Binance UID to the answer. The fifth rule on buyer's instruction. The fifth rule on buyer's instruction. The fifth rule on buyer's instruction on the P2P transaction policy. The fifth rule. Nobody has. I'm very surprised that nobody has answered this. The fifth rule on.
I think there's a text limit on chat. So
Okay.
if you go and copy the whole thing to paste, to not
Oh.
pay.
Okay. 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 Unless
And
yeah.
summarize number 5 and just share. Yeah.
Okay. I think I see an answer. I think I see an answer. I see uh Abubakar Ibrahim. Abubakar Ibrahim, congratulations. You answered it correctly. Number 5. Um this person copied, but somebody else did not copy directly. So it's kind of more like I mean this person is the first person that answered the question. So let's just give it to this person. Okay. So that's 5 questions down, 5 questions to go. Okay. Let me see. Um, what is the fourth rule on seller's instructions? The fourth rule on seller's instructions. The fourth rule on seller's instructions. Okay, we're running out of time because we still need to answer questions. But let's see. The fourth rule on seller's instructions. Nobody has answered yet. Accounts suspect. Okay. Okay. Aziz Olajide has answered.
Yeah,
Aziz Olajide, congratulations.
it's fast.
Um, Aziz Olajide, congratulations on answering this question correctly. So we have four more to go. So, um, mm, I need you for this question. Please, um, just put one of one keyword that you must not put as a remark when sending payment through bank transfer, for example. One keyword that you must not put as a remark. One keyword that you must not put as a remark. Just one. One keyword that you should not put as a
When
remark.
you when
Okay.
using
Yes. When you, I see an answer. Um, the answer I'm seeing here is crypto. I'm trying to see if somebody else has already answered this already. Okay, I think somebody has already answered. Can you see the first person to answer the question, Iman?
yes, I see. There's a lot of answers, man.
There's a lot of answers.
I see BTC from
Uh-huh.
Aziz. I think Aziz was the first. BTC, then it's Binance ID.
Aziz, I see crypto by Joseph
Oh,
Opara.
mhm. Oh, okay, okay, yeah.
I think that's the first person.
That's the first answer. Yeah,
Yes.
secret.
So Joseph Opara, congratulations. Let me see if I can see Joseph Opara, Joseph Opara, Joseph Opara. Um,
Can they win twice? They won. I think Joseph won before.
no, let me see. Has Joseph won before? No, Joseph has not won before.
Okay.
Yeah, Joseph has not won before. So congratulations, Joseph Opara. We have two more questions to go. Wow. Okay. Two more questions to go. Two more questions to go. Okay. So
It's
when
6 o'clock.
what's that? Okay, when you want to buy cryptocurrency, right? And then the price that you want to buy it for is not available on the buy side, what do you do? Or what do I do? Because I use myself as an example. What do I do when the pricing that I want to buy on Binance P2P, I do not see the pricing there? What do I do next? Let's see if we can get somebody to answer this question. Yes, I think I just saw an answer.
I'm just right.
Uh, yes, Jesse. Wait, oh, I can't even find it. A lot of people have. Okay,
Yeah,
Jesse. Oh, no.
questions are
I think
coming.
Aziz has answered the question before, if I'm not mistaken. Yes, so Aziz cannot win anymore. But we have somebody else. Um, I think somebody else answered. You can create an ad. Okay, that's what Aziz Olaji say. Jesse Okoro. I think Jesse Okoro has answered
Say post the price.
for 610. Jesse Okoro. I don't think Jesse Okoro has answered before. No. So Jesse Okoro, if I'm not mistaken, has not answered before. Let me look for Jesse Okoro. I'm trying to look for Jesse Okoro's UID here, but I can't find it. So congratulations, Jesse Okoro.
It's
You
right
win.
there. So
I can't see it anymore.
I see it. 6 130 60. So,
Okay, just copy it and put it somewhere for
all
later.
right.
So the last question, the last lucky user to win today. What is the question I'm going to ask him? I'm looking for something that will be a bit tricky. Um, something that we have covered today. Mm, something that we have covered today. Something to have covered today. Okay, let me just um, let me just ask this. Okay, apart from price, okay, when you are looking at the users performance on the platform, there are two key things that you should look out for. Two key things, right? After you have looked for price and the price is okay, there are two key things you should see in a user's ad to make you see whether this person is a is a good trader or not. What are those two key things? Two key things you should look for. Okay. Okay, I'm seeing badge or transaction. Badge or transactions. Um um, so I can't even. Okay, number of order and positive response. The verified signature and performance percentage. Let people are saying that we did not scroll up enough. So let me make sure I'm careful with this last one. Number of trades. Okay, let me make sure that I careful. Okay. Okay. So if I'm not mistaken, the first person to answer this question, I'm seeing badge or transaction, and the person entered the phone number, not UID. So sorry about that one. I'm seeing rating. I said two. I said two. The green tick, that's just one. Others, that's one. Completion rate and order. Completion rate and order. Completion rate and order is not the right answer. It's not the right answer. Verified and trade, no. Number of trades, price and confirmed trades, no. Number of trade and completion rate, exactly. Number of trade and completion rate by Dada Ayodeji Sheun. Number of trades and completion rate. Dada Ayodeji Sheun, congratulations, you're our final winner today. And I'm very sure I didn't miss anybody because I scrolled all the way up and
Yeah.
Dada. Where is Dada? So Emmanuel, if you can find it, just help me copy it, please. I'm still looking for Dada on the chat. Okay, I found it. Dada Ayodeji. Let me confirm that you've not won before. No. So congratulations, all the winners. You're gonna get 10 USDT, 10 BUSD each to your Binance accounts after the end of this webinar. So now, another giveaway, final giveaway. We have 121 questions. Wow, we have 121 questions that have been asked. And I'm going to answer. I'm going to pick 10 out of these 121 questions. One and I'm going to pick 10 out of these 121 questions to answer. Okay. Olani Taufik Oyetola has the question. Do I have to verify my account before I can use Binance, before I can use P2P? Let me just okay, do I have to verify my account? Now I'm going to answer this in two parts because I'm assuming it's either of two questions. One, it's either whether you can trade on Binance P2P without verifying your account. No, you need to you need to do your basic KYC first before you can trade on Binance P2P. You cannot trade without verifying your account. Then the second way I'm going to answer it is assuming that the person is asking, do I need to be a verified Binance P2P merchant before I can trade? No, right? You do not need to be a verified Binance P2P merchant. You can trade as a regular user without being a merchant. Yeah, you can trade as a regular user without being a merchant on Binance P2P. So congratulations to what's the name again? Olani Taufik Oyetola. Congratulations on winning 10 USD, 10 BUSD. Let me see. Okay. How best can I make money by buying and selling crypto? Okay, I'm still looking for more orders. Okay. So Aziz Sahid Ido asked the question: when trading P2P, what is the most important step to take? Is it to release the coin first or release the money? How does one become a trader on Binance? That's a lot of questions in one. This is we've covered this before. What is the most important step to take? No, you don't release the coin first before receiving the money, right? Obviously, it's only when you receive the money into your Binance account that you can release the coin. And we've covered this before. Make sure that you check your bank app and that you have received the money into your bank app before you click I have received on Binance P2P, and it will release the money to the buyer. So congratulations, Aziz. You win 10 BUSD as well. Okay, so we have like 8 more questions to go. So I'm going to try to make this as fast as possible. Okay, hello. How can I place advertisements on Binance P2P? That's a very good question. So I'm going to share a link now on how to place advertisements on Binance P2P, because that's a whole different process on its own. So I'm just going to share a link to the chat now that you can actually go there and look at the look at the answers to that. Look at the tutorial for that. So congratulations, Ahmed. You win 10 BUSD as well. Okay. Let me share it with you. Okay. Let me see. Which else can I ask now? Next question. How can I trade on P2P? In P2P, what does the drop down? Wow, great. Oh God, this person asked a very good question, but entered the wrong Binance UID, which is sad. Which is really let me see. I would have loved to answer this question.
What's the
But
question?
the question is about express mode. The question is about express mode.
I think there are a
So,
couple of questions around Express though.
okay,
So
great then. Let me see. I'm going to. How can I identify scammers on P2P? We've talked about this a lot, but I think it's worth answering again because it's a very important topic. We absolutely do not want users to be scammed, so we want to make sure that we repeat it over and over again. How can I identify scammers on P2P? We talked about the pricing as the number one key thing to look out for. If you see a ridiculous price, somebody is putting a ridiculous price on Binance P2P that is high above everybody, it's too good to be true. That is the number one key thing to know that this person is a scammer. Just avoid the person, right? Immediately, right? Number two thing to get when you are trying to identify a scammer is the person is asking you to release cryptocurrency first before receiving payment. The person, let's say for the person, you did not even start the trade with the person, right? The person, maybe you posted an ad and the person want to take your ad, your sell ad, and then they're asking you to release crypto first before receiving payment. Absolutely a scam. Do not fall for that. File an appeal and report to customer support immediately. Yeah. So Mohammed asked the question, how do I identify scammers on Binance P2P? So let me go through it again. Number one, if you see a ridiculous price when you're trying to take from a buy ad, it's most likely a scammer. Report to Binance P2P, Binance customer support immediately, so we bind the person. If the person is asking you to release cryptocurrency first before receiving payment, the person is a scammer. Do not fall for it at all. So thanks so much, Mohammed, for asking that question. Emmanuel, can you share with me one of the express mode questions, because I can't see any express mode.
yeah, I'm checking that out. I
Okay,
just saw
so I have one more question before you just help me check when you get there. We can answer it now. I have one more questions. What is the future of P2P going to look like, and what improvements can we expect going forward? This is a question from James Ajayi. Very, very good question. Thank you so much for asking. So let me see. I think I should answer questions in the middle because I'll be answering questions from the beginning. So I'll go to the end to answer and the middle to answer more questions now. What is the future of P2P going to look like? We're going to be expanding and giving much more product offerings in the future. We keep improving every day. We get we get suggestions from our users, and we act on them, and we improve on the platform. So we're gonna keep making different improvements to the platform going forward. We've come a long way from the beginning. I know a lot of people that have been using Binance P2P know that it's a much more improved product than it was before, right? We've had a lot of improvement. We didn't used to have, for example, express mode before, right? Which we are going to answer a question about. We didn't used to have express mode before. We didn't used to have a rating system before. Now we have a rating system. You know, we didn't used to have give people the ability to share their ads before. You know, a lot of different improvement that we have added so far, right? From just a very simple product that we added on Binance before. So we've come a long way, and we're going to continue to improve on those things going forward, right? So
Yeah.
please, if you ever have any suggestions, you can always reach out to us. Reach out to us with your suggestions, and we are always listening to user, because Binance is all about the user. So, you can expect much more improvement going forward. For example, we are going to have a cash program where you can actually go to an online to a physical store, right, and buy and sell cryptocurrency. So if you are interested in being able to offer becoming a Binance agent in a physical store, we're going to be adding. We have actually announced a merchant program. Let me see if you can. Um, let me see if I can find how okay. So we actually announced a cash merchant program for people to apply to become cash merchants. So you can actually offer cash merchants. You can actually become a Binance P2P cash merchant. You have a physical store. People can come to your store to buy Bitcoin from Binance P2P. We'll refer them to you. They can come to sell Bitcoin to you. So if you are interested in that, I want to be a merchant, please go through the requirements. Make sure that you reach all the requirements there. Make sure that you reach all of them before you apply. So I'm going to send the cash merchant recruit announcement here. Please go to the link, make sure you satisfy all the requirements, and then apply. So that's one of the features that we'll be adding very, very soon, and we'll be adding a lot more features going forward. So James Ajayi, congratulations.
I think we'll have a question for P2P Express. And is it possible you show us a use case on how to use P2P Express? So Safian Ahmad said, how do I use P2P Express?
Okay,
Uh,
so
yeah,
I'm actually going to share very briefly. We've gone. This has actually been a fun one, and
yeah.
I think we can just go on. Let me know when you can see my. Let's go through Binance P2P Express mode real quick. So um let me first of all go to the homepage. Like, let me show you how to access the P2P page on Binance P2P Binance in the first place. Just over on trade if you're on web, and then click on P2P. If you're on the mobile app, you can see it on the homepage. Just click on P2P and you go to P2P. Now, what we have been talking about has been the we've been talking about the normal P2P mode, right? We have two modes on Binance P2P. We have P2P mode, which is the basic P2P mode that you understand, and then we have the express mode. So I'm going to cover the express mode. Now, the express mode is a much more simpler way to do things, right? With the express mode, you don't need to go through all the process of sifting through pricing and all that stuff. You can just sell directly. And I'm going to show you, or buy directly. And I'm going to show you how that works. Now, let's say I want to sell, let's say, $100 worth of USDT, right? Normally, I would have to go through the whole sorting thing, look at the pricing, look at the completion rate, look at if the person is a verified merchant, all those things first before I now say, okay, I want to actually sell. Instead of that, I could just go enter the amount that I want to sell. Make sure that I have it in my Binance P2P account. I want to sell $100. Just enter the amount that I want to sell, and then click sell with zero fee, and then pick the payment method, which is bank transfer. I think my payment method is not showing. Let me see. Um, um, I don't think I can show how to sell, but let me just go through buy. Let's say I want to buy, let's say 10,000 naira worth of USDT now. 10,000 naira. All right. I just enter buy with zero. I just enter the amount in naira that I want to buy, which is 10,000 naira, right? And then click buy with zero fee. It will ask me what payment method I want to pay with. Is bank transfer I want to buy with, right? I just click confirm purchase, and then now it's going to load, and then automatically match me with somebody that meets all the requirements, right? This person is a merchant. This person has very good completion rate, right? We are going to make sure that first of all, merchant, the person is a merchant. Second of all, the person has a very good completion rate. I don't need to do all those verification myself, right? I don't need to go through all those, the person must be a merchant, the person must have 80% completion rate, the person must have all this. No, or check the pricing. Binance P2P will automatically fetch the best pricing for me and then put it there for me automatically. So that's how express mode works. Now I can just go ahead, send money to this bank account and then click transfer next, and then my sorry, and then my transaction will be complete. This shortens my process. I don't need to go through all the other verifications that I would usually go through. I just enter the amount, and Binance P2P will help me do all that. The only thing I need to do now is just make payment, and then my transaction is complete. So that's all about Binance P2P Express mode. Yeah. So
Just like it says, express. So basically,
yeah,
this is just with the best price, with the most available person, and the person with the best rate, basically,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
yeah. So this person was Safiyanu Ahmed, right? Yeah,
Yeah.
Safiyanu Ahmed. Congratulations, you win 10 BUSD today. We have three more questions. Let's see if we can go through them real quick. I'm seeing a question about escrow. Okay. What's the name of Shegun John is asking a very good question. When using Binance P2P, what happens if either the buyer or the seller lies about sending or receiving payment? How can this be resolved? Now, we're talking about appeals here. First of all, congratulations, Shegun John. You win 10 BUSD as well. We're talking about appeals here, right? Let's say a person wants to buy crypto from you, or let's use the sell side of it because the buying side of things is very common. You want to buy crypto from somebody and you have clicked you have actually made the payment right from your bank app. You've done all the necessary things, you follow the rules, but the seller is saying that I've not received, right? They are trying to lie to Binance customer support that hey, I've not actually received the payment. That's when you now file an appeal as a buyer. Now Binance customer support will ask for some evidence from the buyer and the seller, right? We will ask for, hey, send us a statement of your account to actually prove that you did not receive this payment. Send us a statement of your account to actually prove that you did not receive this payment. The number one thing that will now ask for is, hey, make a video screenshot from your app where the payment that you sent was actually showing as a buyer, right? If you have made payment. Now, if you look at all this evidence and somebody is already has already satisfied the payment and the other person has not, will rule in favor of the person that followed all the rules on Binance P2P. So yeah, in case of a buyer or seller lying in a transaction, do not worry. Just make an appeal and Binance P2P customer support will take it from there. Emmanuel, do you have any question that you want me to answer?
I think we'll pretty much touch on a lot of things, right? I think someone's asking, how do I join the Telegram group? I'll basically answer that. So Binance Nigeria has a very active Telegram channel, more than 40,000, 45,000 now, right? Active users, right? And basically everybody there is a Binancean. They all have a Binance account and they can basically tell you a lot about Binance and what you need to learn more about P2P, right? So I will share the link to the Telegram channel now on the comment section, right? I implore you guys to join and basically learn how to connect with other people and learn on the go basically about Binance P2P, right? You see the I just shared the link now,
Mhm.
Binance Nigeria, and you can also keep up to date on what is happening within Binance and the crypto space on our Twitter page, right? I just shared that link as well with you guys,
Yeah.
right?
So congratulations to Luce. I think to Luce asked that question. So
Yes.
congratulations to Luce. Final question is a very interesting one. And this person is Abubakar Ibrahim. The person is asking if I mentioned crypto, etc, on in my payment when I'm trying to send them the money, what will happen? Now, as it's clearly said, do not enter crypto related world when you're making payment. It's against the rule, and we've said it before, right? We have rules that we went through. Rule number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then number 7 says, in case of violations of a buyer's instruction, the platform may, in accordance with the policy, in its own discretion, take measures as it sees fit, including but not limited to freezing the violator's account or disabling some of its features. That is very self-explanatory, right? One of the rules that we have is do not add crypto-related words, right? If you violate that, if you violate that rule, then number 7 here, the number 7 here applies to you. So I implore that you read the user transaction policy again. I'm gonna send it to the chat now. I think I'm just gonna so let me see. Yeah. So I've sent it to the chat now. We make sure you read the user transaction policy, follow all the follow all the rules there, and you'll be good, right? So yeah, that's very important as well. I think that's the last question. The question was asked by Abubakar Ibrahim. So please do not include crypto related or words when you are sending money through
Yeah,
Binance P2P. Yeah. I think so. I think that's it. We've pretty much covered everything. It's been a very exciting
this was fun.
webinar. Yeah, it's been an awesome one. Yeah. So yeah, Emmanuel, I think we can just close now.
All right.
Oh, oh,
Thank you guys for all the questions. Thank you for this interactive session. We hope to do a lot of this webinars in the coming months, in coming weeks, actually, right? Please just stay tuned. And the best way to keep abreast of what is happening within Binance is basically just join us on our Telegram channel. We have a daily voice chat we do basically every day on our Telegram channel. I just shared the link again. And also you can follow us on our Binance Africa Twitter account, which is very, very active. We're close to 40K followers there now. And these are two main channels that you can actually keep abreast on what's happening within Binance and how best to profit from and get a lot of crypto knowledge, basically. Thank you guys. This has been a fun one. Thank you,
yeah.
Babs.
So Emmanuel, before we go, I want to answer this question that somebody just asked.
All
If
right.
someone puts too good to be true offer on P2P, is it not clear that the person is a scammer? Why would Binance delete the scammer? Now, um, we want an
You answered
open
it.
market. Yeah, I've already answered it, but I just want to make it clear again. We want an
All right.
open marketplace where people can do. I mean, if I want to sell my crypto for a ridiculous amount of money, it's my crypto. I can decide to sell it for that amount, right? If I want to
Yeah.
buy for a ridiculous amount of money, it's my crypto. I can decide to sell it for that amount. Like, for example, on spot, nobody is going to stop you from putting. Let's say BTC is about $47,000 right now. Nobody is going to stop you from placing an order of to sell your BTC for $1 million. If you go to Binance BTC USDT pair right now on spot, you're going to see actual ridiculous orders there, or people wanting to sell their BTC for $500,000, $1 million, and so on and above. So it's a free market. We want people to be free. If you want to sell your crypto for like any amount, it's totally left for you. But what we are saying is, when you are seeing somebody that wants to buy crypto for a certain ridiculous amount, especially on Binance P2P, you should be skeptical about that and report. We're not going to outrightly just ban the person. Of course, we'll investigate and see that this person is not actually a scammer. And if truly they want to actually buy for that ridiculous amount of money, then great. It's their money, right? They can do whatever they want with it. But if we do an investigation and we figure that this person is actually a scammer, we are going to go ahead and ban them, right? And most of the time, like I can tell you that 100% of the time that this happens, the person is always a scammer. So yeah,
Yeah.
that's it. Yeah.
All right. And another thing to look out for and when doing P2P trading is always look at the verified tick before you actually go ahead with any trade.
Mhm,
The
mhm.
verified tick and also the ratings are actually what guides a lot of, especially old users. But if you're a new user, please, please, please always verify to check your bank balance to know that the money got to your account before you even
Mhm.
release your coins.
Mhm.
All right, man. This has been fun, man, Bash.
All right.
Thank you, your hostess. We'll do this some other time again, guys. Let's talk more on the Telegram channel. I just shared the link again, and also on our Twitter. Thank you very much. I still remain Emmanuel and Bash from our
All
stable
right,
saying
guys.
bye, guys.
Thank you. Thank you, guys. Bye bye.